First time in a long time, but back like I never left. Taking each day as it comes, you know me, I don't read ahead. Watch me burn down everything, BDE on the TV set. When I'm in control on the road, you can never really know what's up next.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Braden Herrington here with Davie Portman for upNXT, BD Elite, reviews from the 6, postwrestling.com. Yes, we are your usual NXT friends, your dynamates, whatever you want to call us. But, man, we've been covering some wrestling. We've been stuck inside during a pandemic, and we're in Toronto. We don't have a lot of live wrestling when everyone's supposed to stay home. But finally, things are opening up. We got Forbidden Doors opening up, but we got live wrestling coming back to this city of Toronto. The 6 needs it. The 6 needs the Lucha.
It feels so good. It feels so good to get the Lucha going. Yeah, we went to an event a couple of weeks ago, Demand Lucha.
Yes.
It was our first indie show in the city in, what, 3 years?
Quite some time.
Quite a long time, and it was awesome. Like, got to hang out with wrestling fans again, got to see some live talent, and we got to see a guy that we kind of got to know from watching during the pandemic, watching all these GCW shows, Gringo Loco, and we were fortunate enough to have a chat.
Blessed
To
talk to the base god.
With the base god after. We even got our little Gringo Loco doll, which is front and center next to the AEW World Heavyweight Championship forever, for eternity now. And we have him right here on the show with us. Gringo Loco, how you doing?
Hey guys, I'm doing great, man. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
Well, thank you, good sir. Yeah, we've been having a fun time during the pandemic, kind of keeping up with pro wrestling. It was the one thing that kept going, of course, like WWE and everything. But I found something quite interesting the past few years with Fite TV letting all these independent wrestling promotions kind of shine and show things online and finally like figure out the kind of where the world is. Like YouTube can help in so many different art forms and just everything. And I thought that GCW and Fite, the relationship there, definitely brought attention to people that wouldn't know these kinds of wrestling shows or wrestlers. And because of that, we watched a lot of you, Gringo Loco, and we watched a ton of you during the pandemic, and we thought you were pretty awesome. And I know, you're coming up to Toronto this upcoming Thursday for Demand Lucha. You won a title the last time as well in the main event.
Yeah, I mean, I came in, had to make an impact, and what better way to do that than take the belt off the guy that had it for 1,200 days. I think I did it correctly. So I wanted to thank you guys for the very kind words as well. I mean, I go out there and I give it my all every single time. So I'm glad you guys noticed and
we saw
positive way.
You did a suplex on like a line of steel chairs on concrete at the last show. So yeah, you absolutely
you do. You go out
give
there,
it
man.
your all.
100%, you do. Yeah, but the GCW stuff is just awesome. I mean, like you guys tore it up at that Hammerstein show, and then you've had man, every time you and that guy ASF get in the ring, I'm watching that, and I always have to check it out. But what's that been like for you? Like has that the technical thing, the aspect, the internet allowing people all over the place to finally kind of get to see you shine?
Yeah, I think it's opening a lot of doors. I think the internet as a whole is magical. I am getting gifts sent to me. I don't know how they get my address, but from people from Germany, from England, they're getting into my mailbox and sending me gifts and just really nicely written letters about how much they enjoy my work, and it's overwhelming at times, man. That all of this has been for me after so many years of trying and struggling and just, hoping to make it one day. It's all coming to fruition, with the last couple of years with GCW and the platform that they have, and then the guys that they're letting me enjoy a ring with. It's all really just stars aligning incredibly right at the right time. So I couldn't be more grateful for what's happening right now.
And Braden kind of touched on the pandemic, and obviously like live crowds is such a thing with wrestling. You need it's kind of like it's theater, it's sport. Like you need to feed off that energy. But I think there was something when you started running those shows with GCW, but there was still, the world wasn't fully open. I know I had a lot more free time on my hands, and obviously wasn't in the States, wasn't able to go to like Philadelphia or wherever to see these shows, but had the opportunity to see them. We felt with our podcast, we felt growth during that pandemic period, as shitty as it was, but because people had more time to kind of consume. And I wonder, like you say, like it kind of came into fruition in the last couple of years. Would you say like the rise of the internet and maybe people being more at home during that time has given you more of a platform?
Yeah, I think so. I think people were, you know, at home watching TV because everything else was closed. There was nothing else to do. And again, if you were a go-getter during that time, I mean, a lockdown's not going to stop a hustler from looking for things to do and how to make money. I actually formed a small production group during that time, and we do wrestling events here in Chicago. And that absolutely would not have happened if the pandemic and the lockdown didn't exist. So, you know, I just formed a hobby right here in my living room, and now it's like a full-fledged production, you know, scenario for a lot of these events that we're doing. And yeah, I think that the internet and GCW's come on Fite, and like really the wave that they're on now is untouchable. And I'm just so happy to be along for the ride, man. I mean, there's a ton of people knocking on GCW's door, and I mean, I'm in the room already, and people are just clamoring to get in. But yeah, shout out to Brett Lauderdale. He's really a guy that just keeps going and going and going. He doesn't take no for an answer. And, you know, without him at the forefront of all of this, none of this is possible. It's literally one guy setting up all these dates, setting up all these venues, you know, setting up time cues for music. It's all one guy. It's pretty incredible when you really sit down and think about it.
Yeah, I mean, what they've been doing is awesome. And all the difference in wrestling, it kind of reminds me of, I mean, WWE, all the AEW stuff, yeah, they do that. Pro wrestling should kind of be different types of things on one card. And I find that GCW, you know, you think, a lot of people just instantly think of like the deathmatch stuff or stuff, but they do a big like mixed bag of just a little bit of everything. And in that like seems to be this crazy lucha division. If there's just all these guys, and every time I watch a GCW show, I'm blown away with a lot of stuff on the show. But at the end of the day, I'm always thinking and always talking to my friends. The water cooler is but the lucha stuff in that matches, and it's like you guys got like a whole team, a whole gang of dudes who are just putting on crazy stuff, and like you're seeing it on you know meme accounts and cool video Twitters and Instagrams, like all this crazy spots you do. Like it's incredible. What's going on with this whole team? Like you guys just must have a blast.
Yeah, I mean, it helps that a lot of these guys are out of their mind like me in terms of ideas and creativity. So when you get a bunch of guys like that, especially 6 of the craziest people who are, you know, athletically gifted and creative, exactly what happened at Hammerstein, you know, you're going to get magic whether you want it or not. You know, that table was set before Hammerstein, and it was just a beautiful feast. You know, like we knew we had some incredible things that were going to happen. And obviously with them, everybody being so good, there was no worry that, you know, what if we fail or what if it goes wrong? Because everybody is just top notch. I mean, you're talking about Bandito, Laredo Kid, Flamita, Ares, ASF, who I'm so happy that I discovered 8 to 9 months ago in Laredo, Texas. I just happened to, you know, get booked for a seminar in a small town, and he was there, and I knew right away, like, there was something special about the kid, but I didn't know he was going to, you know, within a couple of months be at Hammerstein Ballroom. I mean, let alone myself, you know, when it first got announced, never in a million years was we were going to have like a premiere spot on the show. I never thought. I actually said to myself, I was like, wow, those GCW guys who have been there since day one are going to have a hell of a night. And then lo and behold, we get announced for an actual lucha match on the card. Could not believe my eyes, man. And then the mind starts turning and creativity starts flowing. And yeah, I mean, Hammerstein really was a dream come true. You know, I was 14, 15 watching ECW pay-per-views. You know, on TV, and just, you know, all of my style comes from the SATs, who I was fortunate enough to wrestle this weekend, and Tajiri and Super Crazy and Mikey Whipwreck, you know, watching them in those venues, you know, and I'm just standing in there with the best of the best in the world in terms of Lucha Libre, and I just couldn't believe it, honestly. It was all a dream.
It's like ECW, because you're having those crazy 6-mans that always. We did a Barely Legal review a little while ago because it was the 25th just recently, and it was kind of like that, Matt, because I thought you guys stole that show, and I thought
100%.
I thought you guys were like that Barely Legal, man, with that the 6-man, all the Japanese talent.
I know. So yeah,
honestly,
that's yeah. It's one of my favorite matches that I've ever witnessed as a young man. It's definitely that Barely Legal match. That was what turned me on to Lucha Libre initially. I couldn't believe Yakasiji, I think his name was, the guy in the green suit, like
that's
the stuff
right.
That's right.
Yeah.
And like how fluid Togo was making him look. Like I needed to know how to do that. And I think we did a couple of those moves in homage to Barely Legal, but we did them on like a bigger type of, like there was, it's called a regulete, but he stands on the shoulders on Flamita, and then he does the move that CG did at Barely Legal. So we did it on a bigger boom of a platform in Hammerstein. So yeah, it really was magical, man. I mean, all those guys are so talented.
What do you do to come up with some of these things? Because we just saw you at the Demand Lucha show here last week, and like Davie said, you were doing some spots on the outside, but you're doing like crazy top rope thing. Like what comes into mind here when you guys are cooking up something crazy?
Well, you got to look at your rival first of all, especially if you don't know him. You got to see what his strengths are, what his weaknesses are, and then you just kind of you really spitball ideas. It's like, hey, do you think you could do this? And if you kind of feel them out. If they say no, I'm not sure, then that reaction will then either create new ideas or just kill all these other ideas that I had in my head initially. So, Carter is a super talented individual, and I knew right away that we were going to gel because we're two white guys with braids. So that's obviously going to be a well-oiled machine from the start. And he was game for everything, man. I mean, I think in professional wrestling nowadays, I think, the less you say no, the more awesome of a match or potential of a match that you can have. So, and he was all about everything, man. Like, I don't know, he's super talented, and we just gelled right away.
Yeah, I mean, some of the stuff you guys do. I mean, you're the base god. You're not the base god like Lil B. You're the base god, right? Is that because you're like the best base? Because ASF flies off you sometimes.
Yeah. So the original idea of this name, I get this question a lot. So I'll try to make the long story short. It was me, DJ Z, Joaquin Wild now in NXT. We're sitting on the couch. We're super Lucha fans. We're watching CMLL, some of the best bases in the world, right? Ultimo Guerrero, a guy named Euphoria, just a bunch of guys that are just incredible, right? And conversation goes as follows. It's like, man, dude, these guys are literally the gods of base, bro. They never, ever drop anyone. Everybody's life is safe in their hands. And he looks at me, he's like, have you ever dropped anybody? And I was like, no, I don't. Honestly, I've never dropped anybody. And he goes, you're a base god. And I was like, what? He's like, you're a base god, dude. Start calling yourself that. I was like, holy shit, I'm a base god, bro. Yes, let's try to run with that. And then it's just been, everything else is history. So, yeah, the idea being that, I'm a base that takes care of everybody's life in the ring. So, and I really do thrive off of doing that. So I guess that's where the name came from.
So DJ Z, not only does he drive Santos Escobar, not only did he come up with the ROH logo, he came up with a base god.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah.
That was a story, wasn't it? Yeah, that's wild. Joaquin Wild.
Yeah,
we love talking about him. He does a lot of. He's involved in a lot of kidnappings lately on NXT, and lately meaning like the last 3 years.
The last
basically.
3 years, yeah.
That's his gimmick, is kidnapping or getting kidnapped. I mean, some of the stuff you've been doing is pretty impressive. Where did you said you've been doing this for a long time, and another obviously if you watch Lucha and stuff like that, I was just catching up on some Triple Mania. You were on a Triple Mania poster. So what was the deal with that? Did you did some shows for them?
Yeah, so there's a lot of dates upcoming, but yeah, that initial poster that I posted recently was really significant in my career because, I lived in Mexico City for 4.5 years, just looking for an opportunity, knocking on doors. I was young, I was skinnier, didn't really know the language as well as I do now, and none of the doors really opened except for a small arena called Nocaupan, IWRG, and a great experience, right? But it was never like that level that I wanted to reach in Lucha Libre. I knew that I was always trying to be authentic luchador and authentic, fluidity in the ring. So me being on a AAA poster in like a marquee match and like with with your face on the poster with your name and everything, and not with a name change because CMLL wanted to change my name to Chicago Fire. Like with it being like, you know, Gringo Loco with in an awesome match. I mean, I don't know if you saw the announcement. It's an amazing match. And with the photo on it, it was like, God, you finally got it. You know, it was like 20 years later, but it finally happened. Like, this is it. Like, they're actually taking you into account. They, you know, they're giving you dates because of your talent. And it was just like a complete, you know, recognition for me that, like, man, like, all of this was worth something. Even if it was just that flyer, like, okay, I did that. Like, I could probably quit now and be happy, which I won't, guys. Don't worry. But it was just like really significant. But I post a couple things here and there, but I really felt the need to let people know, like, yo, this was really special for me, and I just wanted to share that with the world.
No, and sorry. So there's going to be more. You're going to be doing more dates with them because, like I said, anytime I've watched you in these GCW stuff and a lot of the mixed, like multiple tag matches, you're crazy. But the guy I've been watching in AAA is Vikingo. So, you know, Gringo Loco in the same ring as Vikingo, I definitely getting some crazy eyes on that match because insanity.
Yeah, I'm going after Vikingo's head, man. I think he thinks that he's a lot better than he is, and I'm going to show him who's boss once I get down there. So he is definitely on my radar, and he has a target on his back, and I'm going after him. So if there's anybody that I would want to share the ring with in AAA, it is Vikingo. He's always avoided me, too. He's been booked, and the night before, he gets hurt and does something dumb. So at some point, he's not going to have anywhere else to hide, man. So, yeah, hopefully it'll happen in the AAA ring on TV. We'll have to see.
That's another battle of the braids.
It is a battle of the braids, yeah.
It is.
Do you do your own braids?
I do not do my own braids.
It
No,
sounds hard.
and
It sounds
you
really
know,
hard.
I had braids at the very, very beginning of my career, and then I kind of let it go, and then I shaved my head, then I did the graphics, but I came back to the braids because I'm growing my hair out, and I didn't realize how much of a headache it is to keep this image up when there's all of these graduations and proms in Chicago, man. I couldn't get my braids because everybody else was graduating high school and college, man. It was a real pain in the neck, but I'll just know that for next year. Like, hey, this month is going to be kind of tough for braids. But there's only like a couple of really good artists here in Chicago that I would even consider going to, because the other ones, I mean, I don't know if you guys care about this, but they will really pull the hair out of your scalp, and it's really painful. So you got to pay them a little more money, and then you don't feel anything. But it's hard to get a couple of these appointments set up when there's so many proms and things going in. But yeah, no, I really just do it to get the hair out of my face while I'm wrestling because it's so annoying. But
it's definitely like unique to you though. Yeah, like 100%. Kind of like the first time we were seeing you, and it's like, oh, it's the guy with the braids, the white dude with the braids,
the dude
like
with the shades.
It's good because there's so many people that look the same, and I will say it does make you stand out.
I mean,
frustrating as it is, you got to keep them until that big money braids versus braids match down the line.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, Jeff Hardy says now, he's like, yeah, I love face painting, but now I feel bad because everyone wants me to wear the face paint. If I don't do it, like, that's gonna be you in those braids. But I love the look. And then, I mean, to even take your look and more so your entrance to the next level. Since we've been watching the past few whiles, I mean, since the song came out, but coming out to "Way Too Sexy" by Drake is the ultimate greatest song you could
in Toronto.
Yeah,
as well.
Also,
come on.
I mean, you use it. You do use it before, but coming out in Toronto, yeah. I mean, it definitely worked for you. But you kind of in a nutshell here, like what's the story? Because you're originally from the States, but you said you've kind of traveled and lived through Mexico, and I mean, kind of grinding. Again, I think the years before the internet, the wrestlers had it way harder because everyone talked about TV deals and stuff, but what was your kind of, in a nutshell, what was your process there, starting in I believe the States, and then through Mexico, and now everywhere?
Yeah, so I started like training wrestling before I even was out of high school. We found a gymnastics gym, and we were just tumbling around and doing like stone cold stunners and rock bottoms and stuff. And then an actual wrestler came in. He was working on his rolls, and he saw us in our little corner that we had made, makeshift ropes, and like it was a whole thing. And he kind of took us to his gym. It happened to be a Lucha Libre gym with all these like old school posters and these amazing like pictures of perfectly executed dives like on the wall. As soon as you walk in, I'm like, yo, what is this place? This is dope. And that was actually the first time that I stepped into a wrestling ring, was at a Lucha Libre gym. So I think that's why I hold it so close to my heart, because it's the original root of my career. And I've always wanted to be different and authentic at the same time while being in the States. So it's been a long, hard road. Like, I've always wanted to stand out with the lucha style. If I was on an American show here, I wanted to be the luchador, probably the only one. This was before the Lucha Brothers. This is before all of them. Like, I was trying to pioneer my way through all the politics and through all the other stuff that goes on in American shows. And then slowly but surely, I was doing exactly what I'm doing now. I would meet guys in Mexico. They would have a chance to come to the States. I would pull them to all the shows in Chicago or Chicagoland area to show, like, hey, this is Lucha Libre. And then we would try to, branch out to other states as well. But yeah, so go to that gym, fast forward, they say, you look like this guy, Art Bar, Gringo Loco, that's your name. Gringo Loco, at that time, it was Time Page. I just came up with a dumb name. It was stupid, sorry.
You said
so
Art Bar because Art Bar, he used that name, right? Wasn't it the tag? Gringo Loco was the name before. Okay. I was making sure, because yeah, that's right. When I first saw your name, I was like, I swear there was someone who used it. And now I'm remembering. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so without me even knowing, they just mentioned it one time. They're like, "Oh, you look like this dude." So then I, started developing my own style, blah blah blah. And then somebody gave me a VHS tape with an Art Bar match. Could not believe the similarities that Art Bar and myself had in the ring. Like, we were both fiery. We both had a lot of facial expressions, just really amped up in front of a Mexican crowd. So I saw that video and instantly wanted to know, where are the best luchadors in the world? Like, where is this place that they all come from? And everybody told me Mexico City. So right out of high school, I had a bunch of delivery gigs, and I saved up all the money from that. I wasn't paying any rent. I was still living with Mom. Saved all my money and, like, literally got on a plane and went to Mexico City with a man, with somebody's number that was Tarzan Boy. It was one of the biggest stars at that time in CMLL. And yeah, he kind of took me under his wing, man, and I started, like, training Lucha Libre, the authentic, real stuff, and it's really hard and really tiring. And it was a blast. Like, that chapter of my career is really sacred to me, because it was my first, attempt at what this crazy world of Lucha Libre is. And just slowly but surely, just kind of met and made connections throughout the years, and that's really, like, what's led me. Everything has bled into the next chapter, but that was the very initial beginnings of my career. That's how I got down there. I just kind of, like, went for it, man, at like 18.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you got to. It was the, like, bet on yourself kind of thing. Like, you kind of did what a lot of people wish they did. That is actually very inspiring. I mean, yeah, why not go for it is kind of what I got from listening to you right there. Because if that's what you want to do, then that's what you got to do. You did what you had to do. And I mean, look, the hustle there is definitely working, man. Like, every time we watch you, we're like, you're doing awesome things. And then what, you started doing, like, shows back in the States and stuff like that, Chicago home base, or?
Yeah, so I would have to come back because my money would run out, and I just couldn't figure. I was so young, I couldn't figure out how to make money in Mexico. To make money was very little because it's pesos, but yeah, I would come back, do like a couple dates here in the States. One promotion gave me a big opportunity. It was called AAW here in Chicago, pretty renowned here. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. And then they gave me a platform to showcase Lucha Libre against a guy, Mini Charlie Manson, who I met in Mexico City. And we kind of ran the circuit. Like, we had one match together, one-on-one, and then they were so impressed they gave us the dates for the rest of the year, which for me at that point was like, this is amazing, man. Like, I just did something really good, So, and then, that would happen. We would finish out the year, and then I would come back to Mexico with a little bit more money and then try again, and then, like, a different part of Mexico. And it just kept on going from there. Like, I've always been chipping away at this Lucha Libre world for years. And I just feel like everything's just coming together finally, that, like, man, this guy has been around a long time. He's very fluid in the ring. It's really been, my goal since the very beginning, that people would recognize all this at the end.
So you keep on mentioning, like, goals and next chapters, and you said, like, doing Triple Mania, working for AAA is kind of like, if you were told, like, today that it was ended, you'd kind of be happy because you've hit that thing. But what is the next goal for Gringo Loco?
Yeah, I want to make a pretty big impact in AAA and, like, maybe potentially leave a legacy of my own down there. I think there's a lot of things lined up that I can't speak about that will be happening soon. And yeah, I just want to be renowned as a authentic American luchador. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's not many of us out here. Like, Quackenbush was one. Various others, like Cesaro's a really good base for lucha guys. But there's not really, a ton of American luchadors that really know the style and how to work it and make it look correctly. You know, I put in my time, I put in my hours, put in my years, really. And I just want to be renowned as like the authentic American luchador, really. I mean, that's really all I'm out here to do.
Hey, and you're already on your way, man. Like, again, like we've been watching you. You're like, oh man, this guy. When we first see, we go, he's got braids, he's got the glasses. It's like Kenny Powers coming out. But like now you wrestling, like no, you've been like someone we've been watching and just been like, yeah, I would say just as someone watching you, you're on that path, man, and that's crazy. What about people that have like inspired you? Like you kind of been naming some people, but who, when you like were watching, maybe not the 6 guys in that barely legal match, we'll count those as well, but kind of growing up or still to this day, anyone that inspires you to keep doing what you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why this past weekend with GCW in New York was so significant in my career, because really the guys that formed my style were the SATs with Amazing Red. I mean, I have a VCR in my living room right now, and the tape inside is a highlight reel of those 3 guys. I just never took it out of the VCR because I used to watch it all the time and rewind it and try to figure out like how they made it look like that, how the hell they could remember, you know, everything, because, you know, at that time I was 15 and I wrestled them this weekend in New York. Like it was pretty emotional. Like I had to like, it really is like, it's crazy, you know, looking at them, you know, across the ring from me with a hot like New York crowd and really knowing that we're about kill it, because I just know how good they are and I know how good my guys are. ASF and Drago Kid as partners are just out of their minds, and they're going to do a great job because they're so hungry to be successful. So really, like, I looked up to them, and then, you know, obviously Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, Dean Malenko when they were in WCW, like that whole style, and then the ECW at late nights with Super Crazy, Chichiri, you know, really those were the guys I was super looking up to. I mean, you got to throw in Kid Cash, Easy Money, you know, a lot of those guys that were mid-card for ECW, man, I just blew my mind, bro. And like I said, to be able to perform in Hammerstein, going back to that, man, it was surreal, man. A lot of the stuff that's happening right now to me is surreal. Like, you know, all this Toronto stuff and getting a belt and like, it's just, I don't know. I just got to keep going, man. Like in the words of Brett Lauderdale, just keep fucking going, man.
and like wrestling aside, so we love wrestling and we talk mainly about wrestling, but we love our movies and we cover a lot of movies and TV shows and that kind of thing as well. And I was just wondering, are there any kind of like actors or movie characters or anything that has inspired you as a performer over the years, or not maybe?
So not necessarily as a performer. I think I've always been so laser focused on just being the best that I can be in the ring, but like I'm definitely a movie buff. Like I'm a big fan of like Back to the Future stuff. You know, when I was growing up, I would just watch it over and over and over again. I mean, I just liked how all 3 movies kind of blended perfectly together. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's a ton of stuff, you know, like the RoboCops and stuff, Jurassic Park and all that. But, you know, I know that's super random, man. But there's so much good TV now. I don't know if you guys want to jump into that. But, like, I think the TV of today's generation is the best TV that humanity has ever created. I don't know if you guys feel the same way.
But it's the same thing, like streaming things, right? It changes it. It changes the way you can watch things. I mean, if you're watching Stranger Things, you can binge it all in one straight day. Or if it's like your Obi-Wan, you wait every once a week and stuff like that, which is more like wrestling. You know, make them wait a little bit. If you just draw, here's 6 weeks of taped shows, it wouldn't necessarily work like that if you're wrestling. But you've been watching a lot of stuff too, or on the road, I guess, right?
Yeah, man. So like, I don't. Yeah. Oh God, these airplanes. If I'm not sleeping and not zonked out, which usually is the case, I'm sitting there watching some iPad. But yeah, like you said, I'm one of these people. I don't know about you guys. I gladly pay that Netflix subscription fee that they charge, just because there's so many amazing shows that they offer. You know, we got super into Money Heist when the pandemic was at its height. I don't know if you guys know about that.
Yes.
Ozark, fantastic television, man.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't get any better than that. Breaking Bad, I watched the series twice and can't get enough of it. This stuff is really, really well produced, you know. It's really well produced, well written. Like, it's like, man, we didn't have TV back then. It was like Frasier and Seinfeld and Beavis and Butthead, bro. You know,
which are all great shows as well.
yeah. But now it's so much easier.
I'm the same. I'm subscribed to everything, and like I would take all these services over cable or whatever, just because there's such an abundance of great stuff out there.
I have another serious question. You mentioned Chicago. I have to. Pequod's, is it the best pizza in Chicago?
It's definitely not the best.
Okay.
You should definitely check it. You should definitely check it out. Like, it's fine. It's 6th on the list, whatever.
6th?
But if you're gonna go, if you're gonna get good, are you going deep dish? Right. Let's clear that up before.
Chicago deep dish pizza. Where do you go in Chicago?
Okay. Listen, I'm born and raised from here. You have to take it from me. It's Lou Malnati's Pizzeria, and you have to get. Okay, you have been.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you know. Yeah, so if you get the sausage, you know it's a complete circle of sausage on top. I'm just making sure you guys got the sausage, man.
We did. I believe we did when it was all in.
We had deep dish like every day.
Like every Chicago wrestler or like personality, any of our friends there, they're like, well, you got everyone saying their different ones, right? So it was kind of like one person's pulling you this way, and we tried Lou Malnati's.
There was what's the one that's apparently the like original.
Yeah,
one? There's
it was
Giordano's.
Giordano's.
It was good too.
Yeah.
It was tough to pick all of them, but we noticed that a lot of people started leaning towards Pequod's.
Pequod's, I like their like caramelized crust. That's what kind of did it for me.
Right.
It's good.
Yeah, I mean Chicago deep dish. It's good.
They have a different type of sauce that I'm not a big fan of, but I mean, to each his own, man. I mean, Pequod's is not bad. I just think if you're going to talk about premier deep dish, you're talking about Lou Malnati's, bro. There's something in their little tomato sauce that they put in there. I don't know what they're doing, but it's amazing.
And I'm sure you've worked in Detroit. Like, what's like? Is there beef between like Detroit deep dish and Chicago deep dish? Like,
what's the difference?
We're going there. We're going there for blood and guts in a couple of weeks, and we're
next week, I think.
Yeah,
2 weeks. Yeah, what's the difference? Like the sauce is on top or something? It's something weird. Those Detroit people.
So this is all news to me. I didn't even know Detroit was known for deep dish. So I'm gonna have to check this out. Yeah, we are there.
Okay,
we're there in a couple
shade
weeks.
there. The shade there towards. Yeah, we didn't even know.
You're shading Detroit pizza. Look, Detroit deep dish is a thing because I've had it there before. But then it wasn't until we talked to someone who was from there. It was like, oh, it's because the sauce. There's a different way they like layer it or something. Either way, Chicago deep dish, Detroit deep dish. It's basically a pizza cake. It's not actually like a New York slice of pizza, right? So like, it's I mean, different.
We're from Toronto. We're not known for our pizza.
No, but we're known for putting pineapple on pizza here in Canada. What do you feel about that, good sir?
Oh boy! Listen, I'm gonna go the complete opposite. I'm gonna go the complete opposite way. A lot of people hate it. I don't mind it. It's fine. Like whatever. If you like pineapple on your pizza? Like if you're having a party, you invite me over and you get pineapple on your pizza, I'm not gonna look at you and be like, man, I'm offended. It's fine, dude. Pineapple's fine.
The way to make it work is jalapenos.
Yeah, or hot pepper.
The spice and the sweet. It's just amazing.
That's all about it.
But like talking about like different cities here, what are like? I imagine Mexico City is up there, but what are some of your favorite like cities to perform for? Maybe venues or crowds or just like doing the show and then seeing the city. Like where do you enjoy performing?
So I think recently with as many like tours that we've been doing for GCW, LA has definitely stood out a lot. We go to good areas to eat after the shows or before the shows. If we have like an extra day, like we've gone to Malibu and we've hiked the mountains up there, and it's just so beautiful. And it's really like, I'm from Chicago where it's gray and rainy like 6 months out of the year. So when I'm in that California air with that California sun, man, it really does something to me because I don't have it half the year, So I like the Beverly Hills area, obviously. But California in general is like calling out to me, especially like a couple of those trips where I came back and every single time at O'Hare, it was rainy and sleety and gray when I was picked up at the airport. I was like, man, I can't do this anymore, bro. This is getting ridiculous. So LA is definitely up there. I like New York, now obviously not to live in because it's just such a zoo. But wherever the rowdiest crowds are, I mean, like, surprisingly, one of the hottest crowds we've ever worked was in Houston the first time we went for GCW against Loco Wrestling. And my God, they were rowdy, man. Like, wherever the crowd is the loudest is where I'm the happiest. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, and that's fair. I mean, it's so fun, especially when you watch on all these shows. GCW's been doing like all these rounds everywhere, and it's been cool to kind of, again, I think after the pandemic, everyone's just excited to see this stuff again. But they've been rolling with the different crowds and stuff like that. Are you going to be in Detroit for GCW as well?
I am, yeah.
Oh,
I'm gonna be. I'm there for that, and then I got Blake Christian the next day in St. Louis. That's gonna be a fun one.
Oh, damn!
That'd be great.
Yeah.
So that, yeah. The day after that, it's AAA TV down at Mazatlan, July 2nd. Then you got 4th of July. It's never ending, man. It's crazy my life right now. I really gotta take a chill pill and figure it out.
Yeah, we were looking at your cage match just before.
You wrestle like almost every day.
It's like every day you're somewhere else.
Almost every day, man. You've been wrestling. You've been grinding. You've been and yeah, you're coming to Toronto this Thursday at Demand Lucha in Parkdale. And I mean, last time we got to see you put on quite a show. You wrestled twice in one night, and both matches were pretty fun. And this time you got a triple threat match here in Toronto, and it's against Speedball and Ninja Mac. That sounds crazy.
Yeah, no, I mean, Speedball just won the X Division Championship.
Yes.
I have been eyeing him since I met him. What an incredibly gifted athlete. Just so crisp, so precise with his kicks. Everything looks great when he does it. He knows where to put things. You can't ask for anything else from a professional wrestler. The guy is incredible. And if you're going to talk about incredible, I know Ninja Mac very well. The guy is a machine. Actually, we found his circuits behind his neck. He's not a human. And, yeah, I mean, incredibly gifted as well. And, I mean, they're just going to probably be bouncing and flipping off of me, which I'm not going to mind. But, you know, I have a belt to defend, and I'm going to do it with honor. So I think I'm going to see the victor come out as Gringo Loco. But you never know, man. Anything can happen in a wrestling ring, wrestling show. So both of them are incredible. I cannot wait till this Thursday. And Demand Lucha, I mean, the first experience was incredible. And, you know, they gave me a couple of dates. I'm so happy to be back. Like, that Opera Theater or Opera House, whatever it was called, incredible venue.
Beautiful
Yeah, that was a cool venue. Yeah, the next one they're doing is, I don't know if I've been.
Great Hall?
I don't know where it's at here.
It's
Lucha,
Parkdale.
yeah, somewhere in Parkdale. But yeah, Toronto fans, if you're listening, definitely check out this Thursday, June 23rd, Demand Lucha, luchablockpartyto.eventbrite.com. Go check it out, because last time it was like a lucha party. Like, there was like wrestling matches, but everyone was just having a good time and having a good vibe. It was awesome.
We took a friend of ours.
We took a bunch of friends who've never been to wrestling.
Has never
Two
seen
girls,
a wrestling show before,
yeah.
and they're like into it now.
They loved it.
My colleague keeps on going, "Yo, Davie, when's the next
lucha
wrestling show?
Exactly.
Like, is there wrestling tonight?"
Yeah.
So definitely made fans, like new fans,
100%.
and like that's always awesome, because we love spreading the word of wrestling. Like, we've got a joke here, which is Gargano and Almas and chill, which is when you have a non-wrestling friend over and you just throw on some
slide in the night.
Gargano
Yeah, you might
and
like
Almas
wrestling
and set the mood.
Yeah.
And yeah, like we definitely love spreading the good
we
word.
inspired some new fans definitely from that show, and I would recommend people going and checking it out. I know Demand Lucha also announced another show, I think sometime in August, with some other GCW stars as well. So there you go, a lot of like the independent wrestling making its way back to Toronto, and it's awesome to see. And I know you're gonna definitely be eating some of those Speedball feet come Thursday. I know he never doesn't wear his boots, right? So you better watch out for those toes.
No, if I can avoid those toes, I would prefer to, but I don't know, man. He's pretty quick. I gotta keep my eyes open and make sure they don't come towards my teeth. But no, I'm super excited. You know, Bailey, Mac, Gringo sounds like an incredible experience, and I can't wait.
Yeah, like both guys. I mean, obviously, Speedball's someone who's kind of been like locked here in Canada for the last few years.
He's been the only indie star here
finally
for a while,
like let loose. It's beautiful to see.
Yeah.
And Ninja Mac definitely in the last year especially really making a name for himself. Like, I'm pumped for that match.
Yeah, I think Drago Kid's on the card too. Actually, I'm super pumped to see him too. So yeah, this is gonna be a lucha party. Anyone in the Toronto area, go get some tickets, and we'll see you there. And if not, I do believe Demand Lucha like puts it online or something along those lines. I'm not too sure, but go check it out. And I can't wait. And dude, thank you for letting us talk to you here tonight. And we can't wait to see you this Thursday. Let the world know where they can find you. Plug away. I know you got a million things to plug, but feel free to let them know where they can find you.
Oh yeah, so Twitter handle is Gringo Loco OG because I'm an original gangsta, and then the Instagram is I am base guy with underscores underneath the word, so I underscore am underscore base guy BASEGOD. And that's pretty much all I got, man. If you guys want merch, you got to DM me there, and I send them out every Tuesday and Thursday.
You got to get the merch, guys. He's got the Gringo Loco doll, the little mini wrestle buddy there. Yeah. Well, it was
the little plushie.
Yeah. They're all, great move, by the way. Everyone needs to be on that game. I don't know if you're a wrestler and you're not doing that, like, you're behind. I think, like, in today's age, like, yeah, wrestlers are on point with these days with merch, and you, sir, are on point. Thank you for joining us and letting us chat with you. And again, we can't wait to see you kick some ass here on Thursday in Toronto and everywhere on Fite TV and GCW and all that stuff. And dude, I wish you the best, man. As someone who does check out AAA once in a while, I mean, a lot of the times when they release stuff, I'm super hyped that you're actually going to be on some of these shows. And the poster is a big deal, man. And that's fucking hype. So keep doing what you're doing and keep on grinding. We're behind you. We're in your corner, man.
I really appreciate that, man. The pleasure really is all mine. If I have the time, I will gladly do your show whenever you have me on again. So thanks again, guys.
Doors always open.
Well, hey, in a year time, you can talk about all the fun stuff you have coming up because we can't. You can't even tell us some of this stuff. So we're excited to watch it when it comes out.
And we have a show called Best Match Ever where we pick a subject and we dissect the best matches ever in that. We'd love to talk about some lucha with you.
Yeah, we would love to learn about some lucha. I bet you know
some more.
Some lucha history, definitely, for sure. But we hope to...
Yeah, that sounds like fun, man.
Hey, excellent.
Absolutely.
All right, perfect. Well, it was a pleasure, man, and we'll chat with you soon. We'll say hi on Thursday for sure.
Once again, get those tickets for this Thursday. We'll all be there, June 23rd, 7 p.m. at the Parkdale Hall, Lucha Block Party, to.eventbrite.com. Get your tickets there.
Yeah.
Will be fun.
Shout out Jordan at Demand Lucha, at Demand Lucha on Twitter. That's it. That's all. Postwrestling.com for all the podcasts. Patreon.com/upNXT for all the other shows that we do there. We appreciate you guys listening. At upNXT Podcast on Twitter. And that's it. That's all. Goodbye. Take care.
Ahoy!
First time in a long time, but back like I never left. Taking each day as it comes, you know me, I don't read ahead. Watch me burn down everything, BDE on the TV set. When I'm in control on the road, you can never really know what's up next.